Alrighty, let's start with the daily recap. Let's start with GU. So, same scenario. Daily swing is bullish, internal is bullish. Uh, we just we mitigated that extreme and mitigated internal demand, switched bullish on fractal structure, and now we just push bullish and expecting this daily internal high to break. So I'm still bullish on GU. We had a small chalk right there, but it's not a big deal for me. I don't mind having a chalk to the downside because my bias is still bullish. So let's see if price will retake that high and give us that big push to the upside, or perhaps give us some slow movement to the downside, mitigate some deeper demand, and then push higher. On the H4, swing is bullish, internal is bullish. Looking for buys. Today, what happened is that we just mitigated some sort of demand and pushed higher. All right, with CPI, we just pushed higher and retraced back to the downside with the news as well. That gave us a new internal low right there. And for now, we just swept it, but did not break it, failed to close below. So my bias is still bullish, looking to potentially play that long and target that weak internal high and that weak swing high. Overall, we're still bullish, so that would be our target. But I need this to be respected, this internal low to be respected, and not get broken to the downside. So waiting for price to reclaim that low or that high and then continue bullish. M15. So what happened is we had the boss, all right, and then we had a pullback to that internal demand, and then we continued bullish. So that became our new swing high. I mean swing low. That's our swing high. And today we just had our boss with CPI. But again, I know that we had our boss to the downside, but I'm really not confident into that bearish shifting structure because of the higher time frame and what it's telling us. And to be fair, if you look at it, this big rejection, it's not reacting to anywhere. We have no unmitigated supply right there, and these supplies are very weak because, well, these supplies didn't really achieve anything in structure. So I wouldn't be bothered into looking for sells or bothered into um, or being afraid of this big push to the downside. I know that it's just a manipulation or liquidity sweep for us to push higher. So yeah, in the M15, I would still be looking for buys. I'm just following the internal structure. For now, I'm just following the internal structure until we get to EQ. And then we'll see how price react from there. And then if we get any sort of sweep, sweep, fake break, push to the upside, then we can just follow price until we break that M15. Although it's bearish, but it's not really strong for me because, well, as I said, the higher time frame doesn't show us any bearish intent, so I'm just looking for buys. Let's just keep in mind that this supply doesn't have any inducement, right? So I just put it right there. So so yeah, at any moment it could just be get broken. And yeah, that's our last internal high. That's our last internal low. So if we see any sort of break, we could just follow price action and continue bullish. And yeah, so that's GU. Let's go to EU now. Same scenario basically, just a bit different. So daily is bearish overall, right? We mitigated the sort of we had that daily pullback, right? And we mitigated some sort of supply. This supply doesn't have inducement. We didn't yet mitigate EQ, so we could see price potentially continuing bullish until we mitigate EQ. We're in a daily fractal demand right now, so we could see a push to the upside from there. And yeah, that's what I'm expecting. H4, we just had our IBOS, so for now, that's our internal low, that's our internal high. This one is weak. All right, and what I'm expecting is price to potentially continue to the upside because, well, price now just mitigated our extreme and mitigated internal demand. So I'm looking for price to continue bullish. Yes, it doesn't have inducement, but again, because it doesn't have inducement, I'm not afraid to take longs following that sweep of liquidity, that big manipulation of CPI and then push to the downside. I'm not bothered to look for longs from here. It's not, I mean, it's all right for me. As long as I understand that at any moment we can respect this supply and price could push lower. And yes, we're looking for longs from this demand. All right, medium time frame M15. We're bullish. That being our strong swing low, and that being our weak high. Internal is bearish, however. We're in phase B, so counter internal pro swing, but that's the last point that price can react from. We have inducement in front of the level, in front of the extreme. Price just mitigated that level, right? And gave us a chalk. So for now, I'm looking for price to potentially continue bullish, right? And either continue bullish until the extreme, and either mitigate this supply and push and break it, right? Or then we'll see if price will perhaps give us a big shift in structure. Then we could look potentially for shorts. Although I would not be I'd not be happy to look for shorts from this in this scenario because of the higher time frame. So what I'll be looking at is potentially for some bullish movement, get some fractal shift in structure, followed by another chalk, and then look for sells from demand that has inducement and potentially target higher. So that's what I would be looking for. Although this is a strong internal, but again, swing is much stronger than just internal structure, so I'll be looking for phase B longs from here. And yeah, let's just take a look at the XY just so I can get my analysis. So DXY is bullish on the H4. Yeah, it's bullish on the H4. Right, internal is bearish, so we could see some sort of either price respecting that internal and pushing higher, right? Or price disrespecting this internal, respecting this internal and pushing lower, or disrespecting it and pushing higher. Both of them could work, you know. We mitigated deeper into some demand. We swept a lot of lows, but again, I'm not a fan of this whole push. I just don't like it. This is not really good structure for me, so I'm not really a fan. I'd rather focus on this internal structure right there. M15 is still bearish, that being our swing M15 swing high, and that being our swing low. Internal is still bearish as well, so we're in phase A. We swept liquidity there, and then price just gave us a big push to the downside. What happened is that price just swept the highs right there and gave us a chalk. So that's LC3 followed by structure to the downside. So we could see some sort of, you know, continuation to the downside following phase A, potentially to break that swing low that we couldn't break. And yeah, so that's what I would be expecting. Also, we mitigated premium, so we could see some sort of reaction to the downside and push to the downside. So the XY is bearish. That basically favors my whole analysis to look for longs. And yeah, we have no news tomorrow, so let's see if price will we follow the structure, respect the internal structure, and then push higher, potentially to break that weak swing high. I don't have an account yet. It's out for payout, so if I get it, then I'll potentially look for trades. If not, then I'll just, you know, backtest, watch some more podcasts, and just chill until we get our account. And yeah, so that's the analysis and the daily recap. Cheers, guys.